Hi guys, and welcome to another sorority stories video. If you haven't seen these videos before, I am in a sorority and I like to share my experiences with you guys because I feel like a lot of people know about Greek life from television and all sorts of media, but don't actually talk to people who really are in Greek life, or everyone just has their perceptions of what Greek life is. So I make these videos just to share with you different facets about Greek life, or if you're interested in joining Greek life and you want to get more information, this is a really great way to understand what it's all about before you get involved. So this video, I am going to talk about taking on a position. And before I really get into it, I just want to put out the general disclaimer that not all Greek life experiences are the same. What my sorority does isn't necessarily what any other sorority does, so our processes are different. I just wanted to make sure that you're aware of that, so when you do go into Greek life, if you're interested and you think that this is how getting a position actually works and you find out it's different, it's because they're not all the same, and this is just from my experience. In my organization, you have to be an initiated active member for at least 6 weeks before you can get appointed into any chair. A chair includes things like fundraising, philanthropy, sisterhood, anything that isn't part of the executive board. The executive board is president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, recruitment. Sometimes it includes ritual and other chairs, but ours just includes those. So you have to be initiated for 6 weeks to get one of the fundraising, sisterhood, or philanthropy chairs, and you have to be initiated for one whole academic semester, so like fall 2012 or winter 2013 semester, in order to be eligible to be elected into an executive board position. If you notice, I said that there's appointed positions and elected positions, but in my organization, we technically do elections for every position, although in our bylaws and what we are run by, it says that the executive board appoints the chairs, but really, we actually hold elections and everyone gives speeches, and so what the chapter says, who they think should be fundraising chair, always usually ends up being fundraising chair anyways. So elections are held once a year, and we hold ours at the end of fall semester. Elections take place after nominations, so nominations take place 2 weeks before elections, in which you can nominate yourself, you can nominate others for positions, and people can either accept or deny the nomination. 2 weeks after the nomination period, elections are held, and chairs are given 1 minute to make speeches, while executive officer nominees are given 2 minutes. After we find out who the new president is, there's sort of a transition period where the outgoing president and the ingoing president exchange information. They talk about what worked well for them, what didn't work well for them. They give them all the paperwork and just a basic kind of how to do this position, time period. So that's a general overview about how elections take place in sororities, and now I'm going to talk about tips and tricks to make sure you get the most out of your chair or position experience. I've personally held a lot of chairs. I was historian and then secretary, scholarship, vice president, and ultimately president. So I've had a lot of experience with going through different stages of the whole process and having to figure out exactly what works for what chair. One of my big words of advice is to ask the old chair questions. They've done it before. They've had this position for a whole year. They know what has worked for them, what hasn't worked for them, and they also may have their own ideas that they weren't able to implement. So definitely talk to them and see what knowledge you can get from them. It's also really important for you to schedule out your plans. It's normal to go in and have wonderful fundraising ideas and you want to do them one after another, and then 2 months in you're completely burned out and worked so hard on all those fundraising efforts, you have nothing else. So it's definitely important to schedule things out and get a clear idea of where your semester is going before you actually get started. It's also really important to make sure you aren't breaking any rules. Recruitment chair, for example, has to make sure that they're following the campus's rules for recruitment as well as the sorority's national organization rules. So make sure you know what rules are out there, what you can and can't do as your chair. Another thing a lot of people tend to overlook when they're going into a chair is that they can form a committee. Forming a committee is a really great way to delegate all your ideas out to other sisters who may want that position later or just want to get more involved in the sorority. So forming a committee is a really great way to just calm yourself down and make sure things get done. Another really important thing I learned over the years is to keep records. Be it receipts or ideas you may have, it's really important to make sure you write everything down so you can look back on it later or be able to transfer it on in the future. It's also really important to communicate with other organizations' chairs. You never know what ideas they may have, and you may end up wanting to team up with them on a philanthropy or a social event. And my final tip for taking on a position is to put it on your resume. Holding a chair isn't easy. You take on a lot more responsibility. You're responsible for tons of people as well as events and planning, and businesses want to see that. They want to see that you're a leader and you can take charge and take on a lot more than other people. Ultimately, getting a position in a Greek organization is not all that different from getting a position in any other organization. However, if you have any questions, I'm more than willing to answer them, so you can leave a comment below. And if you have any ideas of future sorority story videos you'd like to see, you can leave a comment as well. I really hope that this video was helpful for any of you who are interested in going Greek or taking on a Greek position, and stay tuned for other sorority story videos coming in the future. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!